And then all of a sudden, Dave Grohl shows up to help us, the fucking lead singer of the Foo Fighters. Like, he's like, all right, I'm here to help. I know what's going to fix this. Like, I can break the spell. So he fucking, like, finds this thing. It's like some metal object, and that's what is going to break the spell. So
that's crazy.
He
I
takes
thought this was
it.
going to zombies.
He like finds
and
it.
Dave Grohl.
He finds
I liked it.
He finds the device, and then he's like, okay, this is going to break the spell. I got to go. And I'm like, no, I got more questions for you. And then he just goes up into the clouds. Like, he just floats back up into the sky, and I, like, grab his foot, and, like, I get his shoe. His shoe falls off. And he's like, I just got to go. And then he leaves. And then, like, 5 minutes later, the spell was broken, and everybody's back to normal. Dave Grohl, save the day. Thank you, Dave Grohl.
Seen 'em out at Suckle, they're pounding 16 penny nails. Truckers on the interstate have been known to ride the rails. Sweat is beating on the brow and keep these fellows down, cause these damn blue-collar tweakers, they're running this here town.
And we're back. Talk in your microphone, babe.
Hello, everybody.
Say something else. Say something else.
Just said hello, everybody.
Say something else.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, I think we're good. I'll just listen to this briefly before I actually go through with this as an intro to the episode. Welcome back to Indoctrinated.
So this is just a test, or are we going to redo it?
Yeah, this is kind of like an intro / sound check. Very unprofessional podcast, if you will.
Well, can we not air this?
Maybe.
Just redo it.
I don't know. If it sounds good, we're just going to air it.
Okay.
We got a fun episode today.
Kinda.
Why do you say kinda?
Because most of the episode crashed, so we only have a
That wasn't so fun.
small
That was
portion.
more of me getting cornered and ganged up on.
Well, that's not your fault.
Because of my quote unquote extreme views.
No, it's not your fault that people, I don't know. I don't want to be mean.
People don't value freedom as much as I do.
No,
Well, yeah, there is a mainstream narrative that pervades our society. It's
If people would just peel back a few layers, they would see a lot more that they're not being told.
Sure.
But
anyway, that's neither
everybody
here
has
nor
their
there.
own opinions, so it's okay.
Because that's all over now. That whole
That's what
version
makes
of the
everybody
episode is
unique.
gone.
And I
We
still
had
love
some-
my friends, so it's all good.
We had some old issues that popped up again that we thought maybe were in the past, but anyway, to put it long story short.
FL Studio crashed on us again.
Right.
Like it always
right.
does.
Well, we haven't experienced that with our new computer.
It's not the
In
computer,
fact,
it's FL Studio. That's what I said before we got
no, it's the
another
computer. But we ended up pushing the limits of the new computer with our last conversation.
Yeah, the computer only crashes though when we use FL Studio. So
Yeah, and I think it has to do with the computer not being able to support FL Studio and the operation we've got going on here. And it's not that it doesn't support it just doesn't support our extended conversations with 4 microphones set up. And by extended, at least we can go, well, it went like 101 minutes this round, so that's pretty good. That's more than double what our old computer was giving us. So
yeah.
there is an improvement. We just need to do a better job of setting a 90-minute time limit in the future or something.
And that conversation was just going circles anyway, so
Yeah, we were
there wasn't going to be
in the mud.
ending, it seemed like. So.
But we'll get back around to it, and now that it was a learning experience to say the least. On the bright side, we did have a pretty fun conversation before that. We didn't get into politics at all, so I guess that's why it stayed fun. And we have that for you here today. That is coming up. Stick around. My friend Matt joined the show for the first time. He made his undoctrinated debut. Thank you for coming on, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, he doesn't live in the area. He lives in Santa Monica or
Culver City.
Culver City. Yeah, same thing. And we don't get to see him too much because although that's like a stone throw away, it's about a 4-hour drive. So what can you do?
Yeah.
This California traffic is madness.
Yeah.
Also on the show, Nathan came back.
Thank you, Nathan.
Always
It's
a pleasure.
Always good to see you too.
And TJ, of course.
Always good to see everybody.
So we had 5 of us in this one, and we started talking about. I tried to mainly focus this first conversation on Matt and kind of introducing him to the podcast, and I don't know how much we stuck to that. It wasn't really like a formal interview, but I wanted to know. We talked about Matt's.
It ended up turning into a rap and rock debate, kind of.
Yeah, we did talk a lot about, like, the last half of this conversation at least is all music, which is cool. Talked a lot about Coachella because Matt and Nathan have been their experienced Coachella goers dating back to the early 2000s, so that's cool to have them talk about that stuff. And we got Matt to talk about his time living in New York and Boston a little bit, and a very special advertisement from Wedding on the Greens.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Weddings on the Green, I think.
Yeah. That was a free ad, so we just fully endorsed that company. They didn't ask us to advertise for them on the show, so we don't know.
That's Matt's parents' company. They do weddings at their beautiful home.
Yeah.
Out here in Winchester, California.
That's right. And anyway, I canceled my cable recently.
Yay.
Yay! Are you gonna miss it?
No.
No.
I don't watch it
Are you
that
sure?
much.
I'm gonna miss it eventually. But
I mean, yeah, there's
probably not till
only
next
watched
football
a handful
season.
of channels, so I mean.
I'm actually looking forward to getting more acquainted with Netflix and YouTube and Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good content on there we can get through now and not be distracted by the shit that's on
Netflix,
TV.
instead of just like shows a row of 4 things and you have to keep, I don't know, pressing the button to the right to keep getting more things to show. I wish it was just like a screen full
I think
of
if
things.
you look at it on the computer, it looks a little different. And then you just kind of go find what you want on the computer, and then you can go into the TV and search for it. You know? But if you guys have any cool recommendations for shit that we should watch on YouTube, Netflix, or Amazon Prime, let me know.
Yeah,
Any
tweet at us,
tricks
send
to
us an email.
stream Dodger games, I would love to hear it. I'm going to be researching ways to do that. as well as any other live sports. I did get ESPN Plus recently, so maybe I'll talk about that in the future when I learn more about it. And other than that, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, Natalie's watching Anthony Bourdain when I got home today, and it's actually on the TV right now. I said, "Oh, what is this on YouTube?" And she said, "Yeah, what else would it be on?" And then she said, "Oh wait, no, it's on Netflix."
Well, I don't know how this non-cable works, so
It's all just streaming to you?
trying to get acquainted with it
It's
all.
all fucking YouTube to her.
Yeah, it's all the same, an online thing.
Yeah, okay,
They're all
well,
the same. I haven't
I guess you'll learn. We'll
haven't
get you caught up to
differentiated
speed
between
soon.
all the different things yet because I never used it. I only watched 4 TV channels, so I'm not hip with the times.
All right. Well, let's get into the episode. What do you say?
Why did they just bleep out the boobs on a painting? And this is the internet TV.
Yeah,
Why
but
would
it's
they
still
do that?
probably just like what they actually had to air on
It's
CNN.
off to a bad start so far. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, that does kind of suck, but
Yeah,
what
it's a
can you do?
painting. It was a painting of a girl, and they just crossed out the girl's boobs.
That's
And then we're
stupid.
watching this on the internet.
Yeah, even if it was on CNN, who gives a shit? Nobody
Doesn't even
watches
say CNN on the TV. It said
Yeah,
it
but
was
I think that's
Netflix.
pretty sure this is Parts Unknown, right?
I have no idea.
He's had a few shows, but Parts Unknown I'm pretty sure was exclusively on CNN.
I always used to watch cooking
I could be
shows
wrong
on
about
cable,
that.
so I just went to this because it's cooking. Food.
This is a good
Like-
show, though.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's get into it. Is that Putin in a fucking ballerina skirt?
Oh, Nathan would like that. Just
Yeah, he
kidding.
would.
Oh, just kidding. No, yeah. We hope you guys enjoy the episode. We're sorry about the other half of it. But maybe it's a sign we
No
probably
need to apologize.
Maybe we shouldn't have
'cause
put that garbage out anyway. It was literally like a bunch of. It was.
It ran on
Interesting.
a pretty long, and we were mostly
was running
we were
circles
mostly
going
just
back
talking
and forth.
about Russia and United States geopolitical situation, and
Yeah.
and yeah, there was a lot,
lot of
of
the same-
lot of spinning our wheels,
Yeah, for sure. So
and a lot of Matt not making any sense and sounding too high.
it's okay.
That's all right. Yeah, we forgive him.
But yeah, so. But yeah, it's all good. Our friends are great.
Yeah,
And I'm always happy when they can come
they will
over.
all be back on. Maybe it'll be a while before Matt comes back on, but that's only because he doesn't
And we
live
might
in
have,
as
like-
close as TJ and Nathan.
I think what we might be able to do is like the topic, like the same thing, but structured, and we'll have certain questions, and then people have their opinion, and then that'll be the end of it. On to the next thing.
I think we
So it's
narrow
not a lot of going
narrow
around.
the conversation, and we prepare for it too, because it was open ended. You know, we just kind of got into it.
Yeah.
Normally, when we talk politics on this show, I'll send out a text like the day before, or early that day, say this is what I want to talk about, and I might, like in the past, I've read a few articles. I'll even send the links to those articles out to whoever's coming on the podcast with us, and that makes it more fair for everybody, I think.
Yeah, more
You know?
prepared and
Yeah, exactly. And I think overall it'll enhance the quality of the show. So you're right. Maybe it is best we lost that
Maybe it
file.
was a sign.
Could be.
Could be. But anyway,
Probably have the CIA on our ass if we wouldn't have lost it. Or maybe the CIA is responsible for fucking corrupting that file.
I would be surprised. No, I'm just kidding. That makes me sound like a psycho, but you never know. All right,
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Fuck
get
it.
on with it.
Undoctrinated. Here we go.
Enjoy.
Enjoy Matt's debut.
Must be getting early. Clocks are running late. Paint by number morning sky. Looks so phony. Dawn is breaking everywhere. Not a candle, curse the glare. Draw the curtains, I don't care, 'cause it's alright. I will get by.
Tell us about your dream last night, Natalie.
My dream?
Yeah.
Well, it was bizarre. So we were like out of school, like teachers for a bunch of kids, and like somebody cast a spell over all the kids. So like they were just all fighting. There was like a big old, like a marching band. We're gonna have like a, a parade, and like the parade's going, then they all just start fighting each other. All the kids, everybody's just fighting in the town. And then all of a sudden, Dave Grohl shows up to help us, the fucking lead singer of the Foo Fighters. Like, he's like, all right, I'm here to help. I know what's going to fix this. Like, I can break the spell. So he fucking, like, finds this thing. It's like some metal object, and that's what is going to break the spell. So
That's crazy.
he
I thought
takes
this
it.
was going to
He,
zombies
like, finds
and
it.
Dave Grohl.
He
I
finds
liked
the
it.
fucking... He finds the device, and then he's like, okay, this is going to break the spell. I got to go. And I'm like, no, I got more questions for you. And then he just goes up into the clouds, like he just floats back up into the sky, and I like grab his foot and like I get his shoe. His shoe falls off, and he's like, I just gotta go, and then he leaves, and then like 5 minutes later, the spell was broken and everybody's back to normal. Dave Grohl, save the day. Thank you, Dave Grohl.
That's a very complete dream.
It's very bizarre.
You know, the best part about that is that it was a good story and you wrote it effortlessly, because you can't put effort into dreams; they just happen.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Dave Grohl can do anything.
Yeah,
I know,
that's
right?
my takeaway.
Savior.
There
He's
goes
also
my
missing a
hero.
shoe.
There goes my hero. That's what I was thinking. Like,
You ever see that? I think it's the
Yeah.
Everlong video where he gets he grows the big hand and he hits the guy with his big hand. That's a
Oh.
good, it's a good music video. I think it's Everlong. That's one of their
I've
videos.
seen that.
Yeah, I think so.
They do have some good videos.
And
Big Me is
I
one of the best
wonder-
videos ever.
Yeah.
Period.
Dun, 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 dun. That's such a cool song.
The Learning to Fly one's good too.
Yeah.
It's got a jack
That's the
flag.
one. That's the one when they're on the airplane.
They're on
What
the
were you
plane,
trying to
it's
figure
like
out with
pot
these?
Dave
and
Grohl
the-
plays like 10 different characters.
One of those
Yeah,
for-
and I think the weed
Oh.
gets put in the
Oh, yeah, I
coffee
can make you
maker,
guys one.
and so
Yeah.
That's-
Between. Oh, I thought you guys wanted to talk about these for the podcast. You just
No.
want a template for one.
We can talk about them.
Yeah, we can talk about
Why
it.
not?
too.
It's not
What are we
let's
talking
just-
about
Let's
today, boys?
disclose the
NDAs,
non-disclosures.
and it's exciting.
A standard term of an NDA is that you can't talk about its existence.
So let's talk about
We
it.
could always delete it.
So what do you have those for? Let's talk about its existence.
We don't have.
Let's
one, so it's
disclose
okay.
those
Yeah,
This
non-disclosures.
time there is not one, so we're okay to talk about it. In the future, it might not be the same.
Yeah.
Read it out loud.
These just a standard NDA for non-disclosure agreement is just it's a mutual one, so that like everybody signing it basically says it to everybody else signing it that no one will use another person's proprietary information for their own benefit unless everybody agrees. So it defines, all the things confidential information, how the details of that work. They're usually pretty short. Standard ones usually don't have penalties, but if you sign one with a big company, like if you're a news guy and you want to go see what NVIDIA or car company or somebody's releasing, they'll usually have like a standard, $750,000 penalty for talking
Damn.
about its existence or something. But the standard ones for regular businesses don't have that. This one doesn't. What do you guys need an NDA for?
We don't.
Guests, famous people, in parties.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the
Hopefully
fact that
one
you're-
day.
You're giving questions ahead of time to your.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
When we interview politicians.
Yeah.
They're reading from a teleprompter when they respond.
So you're taking apart a Tesla, huh?
I am. Did we start recording already?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm taking apart a Tesla. I'm actually turning into Tony's assistant. Tony's really talented
Yeah.
with it's like I can do everything that he's doing, but it would make me I'd have to expend a lot more energy. Not just effort, but like mental energy and like building myself up to get the courage to take that weird piece apart. And he just goes in, dives in, and is like, he's really good.
Huh.
So I'm helping him. We're taking it apart to do audio stuff. We're running new wires for the audio, putting all the speakers. If you're into that, it's cool. But if you're not into that, it's boring car work.
Yeah. Well, what you did with your last car was pretty impressive.
That was fun. It made the ride really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not been in a vehicle that sounded better on the inside. That was a pretty bitchin' sound system you had in there.
I don't know how I did it. It was supposed to be my guinea pig for
Yeah.
this car. So, and that was pressure on me. To
Are
make
you
this car
kind
sound
of are you
better.
are you shooting for the same thing, or what are you changing?
This time, me and some guys are getting together. It's taking longer because we're making a company out of it that's going to put together kits. So if you could buy a kit, you don't have to worry about all the. It's not open universe when you bust out all the pieces. It's like everything's made for your car. The wires are cut to the right length. It's like it'll seem like it's made by the factory.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's why it's taking longer this time. But I have to install the thing just the same.
Right.
Yeah.
What was your old car? Was a Mazda 5?
It was a Mazda 3. Yeah.
Oh, is
That
that
was
the
a fun
kind that you
car.
have, TJ?
Huh?
Is that the kind you drive?
Yeah, he's got the hatchback and his is newer.
Oh,
but
okay.
I've got the sedan one, just the 4-door.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I thought you
A
had
5 is the minivan.
Is it?
My one
Yeah.
before that was Mazda
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Okay.
I really like the Mazda 3. That before I moved to the East Coast, that was the last car I had here. It was an older one, like an old blue 2009 or
Oh, nice.
no, not even that. 2006. It's old. Yeah.
Fucking A.
I knew a guy in high school who had one of those. It was cool.
TJ, you're not even registering on this.
What, you want me to speak up?
Yeah, go ahead and
Okay.
speak up if you want to be heard.
If I want to be heard. I can mumble too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
The more you mumble, the more mysterious you are because
Yeah.
they just have the voice.
Well, you see?
I've never ridden in a Tesla. I want you to take me for a ride one of these times.
Oh, dude, let's do it while I'm here this week.
Yeah.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, here it's pretty cool.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's like
It's the future, man.
I didn't even realize because you get used to whatever you drive, but then I drove the Mazda 3, and now that feels weird. So it's like you can notice it after you switch back.
I heard Elon Musk talking about it, and he was saying how much more responsive a electric motor is. Like, as soon as you tell it to do something, that
Mhm.
impulse gets there right away. Versus, gas-powered engine, it has to wind up, and
Yeah.
the gas has to explode. So it's much more. He says it's much more responsive. Like, as soon as you do something, it does something.
Yeah, I feel like responsive is a good word all around. So like going forward, slowing down, turning, it's just like a better
Yeah, it
feeling
makes
car.
sense. You're
Yeah.
waiting for an electrical signal as opposed to some mechanical thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I drive it like a grandma though. I bought this car because it's a battery on wheels, and I'm like really into sound.
Right.
So,
So,
like-
you don't have to hear the engine. You mean?
No, I'm into like audio. So like if you were to find someone who could spend way too much money on audio in a house, they would, want to have the most steady power you can get, and that's just a battery just sitting there.
Oh, I guess.
So it happens to have all these cool features, and I feel like I underappreciate them.
Yeah.
I'm just stoked to like be able to power my sound system.
Just because it has the big batteries in it, you can.
Yeah,
You can draw
but it is
those.
fun to drive. I mean, I'm not gonna like say it isn't. Like, dude, if you accelerate, I'll take you in it. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have it here right now?
No, it's in pieces in the garage.
The car's in pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're adding
Oh.
audio to it. They're adding the system.
Yeah, we've been working on it. Tony helped me tear it down today, so
You think it's gonna take you all week to work on?
yeah.
Tony
We're
works
getting
like a
pretty
snail.
deep.
I
Tony's
remember-
like, we'll do it in 2 days. I'm like, okay.
Well, you were saying a couple days yesterday, and now that you've taken it apart, you're like, no.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Tony's faster than I am, so I might be like misguiding the time, but
Yeah.
Well, and you have to wait for that stuff to get overnighted tomorrow too, right?
yeah, it'll be here tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
How long are you down for?
Until we're done.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a fun project. You guys should come by after work. Tomorrow's a good day if you want to see.
Are you
what
going to be at
looks like
Tony's
inside.
doing it or at your house doing it?
In my house.
Nice.
Yeah.
At your.
In my parents' old house.
Okay, yeah,
Or
yeah.
where they still live.
That beautiful house. Oh,
Isn't that
shout out
nice?
to Weddings on the Green.
Yeah,
For
Wedding on the
anybody's
Green's-
interested, wedding on the Green. The house is beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful place to get married. Matt's parents' house. They do weddings there. Look
Yeah.
them up on the internet.
Yeah, if anybody needs
All
to get
inclusive.
married, we know a place to get a great deal.
Dude,
It's
yeah,
called
it
Wedding
looks like
on the
a
Greens.
tropical oasis there. It's like, it's,
It is a nice
oh,
property.
Are you serious?
yes, I'll show you
It's
pictures.
the best place you never
You-
heard
I
of.
know somebody.
It's one of the most prettiest places, I swear, to get
I
married.
know someone getting married. I won't tell
I'll show
them.
you pictures. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, and it's
It's my
right here in
coworker.
town.
He
It's
just
local.
proposed, and so they're like, we want a place, but like we can't find one. Blah
Oh,
blah blah. So
They
there
just
you
found
go.
one right now.
Dude,
Boom.
pull it up on your
Awesome.
phone. That's pretty cheap, compared to
Dude, it's
having
beautiful.
that sort of place.
Well,
Here, I'll get it on
I
here.
shouldn't say that. I was going to say something disparaging, but I won't do that.
Go ahead.
We'll include
No.
that in the NDA.
Yeah. Exactly. I was going to say, well, he's Jewish, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I was just.
Don't
fucking
talk about
around.
my people like that.
You're not
TJ.
fucking Jewish. Fuck off.
1%.
No, you're
1%.
not. Yeah, bullshit.
I'll prove it to you.
You're Jewish and the 1%?
1%. 1% Jewish ancestry.
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, that is beautiful. No shit.
And Natalie's 6% black.
Tell Sam.
I am.
6 or
Well, there's a whole
60?
bunch of,
No, that's a beautiful venue.
oh, that's why.
Oh, nice.
You're
She
up
didn't
in
get married
LA?
there. That was just her dressing up for this.
Yeah,
photo shoot.
Yeah.
I'm up in LA right now. It's kind of like near Santa Monica-ish. It's in technically Culver City, but it's
I'll send
it's
you
pretty
a
close
website
to
to your
the
phone. You can send it to
ocean.
your friend.
Yeah.
Culver
It's a cool spot.
City.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's great out there, man.
It's got its own little downtown.
Yeah, they came up and visited a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Culver
Do you
City.
miss
It's
New York?
nice.
I do. There's my dad on the promo video for Wedding on the Greens.
Play it. Hold it up to the mic.
My wife and I created Wedding on the Greens to provide a truly affordable, exclusive, private
You seen this
wedding
video?
package for our local
Let
brides
me see the
and
video.
grooms to
Send it
offer
towards you.
them something special, something
Rotate
unique, and something affordable so they can still
Oh,
buy
my
homes
thing's
and
off.
go on great honeymoons. Our heart goes into every wedding to make sure that it's the greatest wedding for our brides and grooms.
It's a private wedding venue for people in the area
I always thought your dad
that
looked a bit like Shooter
would
McGavin.
prefer
Yeah.
non-wedding
Yeah, he
sites.
totally does.
It's
He
private
gets that
homes,
from a lot of people.
But people can come here
Yeah.
and feel assured that the venue is theirs for the day.
I love it over there.
Property
I
was
think
nice
the
even
most
before
special
they did
thing
all that
about
stuff.
Wedding on the Greens is the experience that we share with the couples. We're helping them begin a new life, and hopefully one that'll last them for years and years and years.
Sweet mama talking.
I truly believe we can put on the greatest wedding, and you'll be in good hands with our family.
Yeah. I never had to do that. I don't know. Is this the first commercial you had on your podcast?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Other than the ShamWow guy.
Oh, he was a client. He was a client of this firm I worked for recently, and like, I had to do a matter to help this guy who bought some shady stuff in Beverly Hills, and I don't know, talk to the guy on the phone, and that's who it turned out to be.
The ShamWow guy?
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm Sam guy. I'm like, oh shit, you are. That's
Did
funny.
that guy get into an altercation with a prostitute?
I don't know anything about him. I just stumbled across him in a matter.
I think he like. I think he's like tried to kiss her, didn't pay for the kiss, and got his tongue bitten off. Or something.
Oh, no.
Bitten.
It's gonna be
Don't
awesome
quote me
if that's
on
a
that.
totally wrong story and you just said that.
I want to say it was something like that. What? Meanwhile, the Wedding on the Greens music plays behind this story.
That was like we had to go get free. We had to buy rights to that song. To let
Really?
It, yeah.
Oh shit!
See,
well, we just
that's-
do copyright
that's
infringement
what I'm
here on the
talking about.
podcast.
So like that's why the tunes are so jamming, because
I've been
we weren't
telling
gonna
you.
pay for a brand new song.
Yeah, because half the time they don't turn out right.
Oh yeah, but I mean like a song that everybody would recognize or something, a top
Oh,
40.
you just mean the licensing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
we weren't gonna license that. So this one was like $5 or
Oh,
something.
nice.
That's my buddy who got married there.
I recognize that one guy.
Josh,
from the
yeah.
wedding, yeah.
At the bachelor party.
Yeah. Sure.
Bro, that's the first proposal ever.
I know. I thought did they just get engaged?
That just happened.
Best place you've never heard of.
See?
The best place you've never,
Never heard of.
TJ.
Fucking A.
Cool.
Tell us more about New York, Matt.
New York is awesome. I think here's better
Yeah.
overall because it's like just a lifestyle, but it's really cool in New York.
And you lived in
I think-
Manhattan, right?
Yeah, I lived in Manhattan. I lived Lower East Side, off the F train at East Broadway, between two bridges is like the area is where it's called. If you live over there, it's like, you know, people know the neighborhoods, like
Right,
Marietta,
right.
or whatever. The thing I miss the most about it is the subway, because like subway like creates like a really cool vibrancy to the whole experience of a city, brings it to the feet, which is really cool. And once you get past being there to visit and it becomes your day to day, there's like always a cool story.
Yeah.
Like even getting to work, like sometimes it's, you know, it's a little more crowded than usual and it's, you know, kind of a mundane. Everybody has those stories, but at least a couple times a week, there's going to be like a crazy guy or somebody like super talented on the subway or like whatever it is. I really miss the whole thing. Plus, you don't have to drive if you're ever wasted, which happens a lot because all there is to do in New York is like eat and drink. It's not like you can just go to the wilderness and like enjoy it.
Right.
So yeah, you don't have to worry about a lot less. It's pretty cheap, $2 and I think something cents a ride
For the subway.
for as far as you want to go.
Does it create kind of like a sense of community? Because everybody kind of rides it. Do you see rich, poor? Or do you only see like poor people or rich people?
No, everybody rides it. It's really
That's what I've heard, that it kind of creates
it's a great equalizer.
Right, like a common experience for everybody, and you kind of knits the city together in some sort of way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And I mean, I'm sure other cities have it too. It just New York does it in a fun way. I didn't like it for the first year I lived there
Yeah.
because
It
it
seemed
was
like
like
a culture shock for sure. It's a lot different.
yeah, like the thing I noticed in retrospect is like looking back, the streets look like tunnels. They just were like walls on either side to
Yeah.
me. It took me like a year to like start internalizing that there's distinctions in the brick walls. This one is a barbershop. This one is a music shop. This one is a restaurant. But it was like all so much visually coming at me. I couldn't think like that.
Yeah.
You know. But after a year, maybe I was slow. But after a while, I could put my head down and
Yeah.
could get places.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be crazy living in a city like that.
Just everybody stacked up like that. But the city goes up as much as it does
Yeah.
out. Everything's so spread out here.
Yeah, it's cool.
No
Was there ever
horizontal
like
view.
days that it wasn't that crowded?
Yeah, and then there's a lot of parts that aren't super crowded either. Like around my neighborhood, you can go for a walk, and it's beautiful along the water, right between the bridges, and you don't see that many people. It's kind of like walking around the lake at Menifee, you know.
There's people in New York, they hear this podcast. These fucking idiots. They don't know.
Where'd you
Yeah.
say you lived again?
My grandma was
Huh?
from New York,
Where'd you
so I
live?
always want to visit there. She always
All the
told
cities
me
I
about
lived.
it.
No, in New York,
Oh, in the Lower East Side.
Lower East Side. So that's Manhattan.
Yeah, Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza
The
overrated
food
or
is
no?
probably so good. There's food
That's
everywhere, I
a
bet.
pretty
Any hour of the
great
day, you
area.
can get something to eat, probably.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pizza, I think, is so just based on talking to so many people about the pizza. No, I think it's legitimately good.
Yeah.
But like for me, I'm like, it's still pizza.
Just pizza, pizza. Huh?
Have you been able to
It
find
gets
comparable
better than
pizza
other
out
pizza,
here in
but-
California?
Yeah, I've had really good pizza out here.
But it
But-
compares to the best pizza you've had in
But
New
on
York,
average,
or
no.
what?
I think the pizza places there take it more seriously.
So the best pizza you've ever had was in New York?
Best pizza
Yeah,
you ever had
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
was
I think so.
had the munchies.
I had to think about it, but yeah.
The munchie pizzas.
It's
that
not
taste
magic
the
though.
best
It's fucking pizza.
pizza.
It's still pizza.
Is there anything that you eat out there that you can't get out here that's your favorite thing that you miss, like food-wise?
There's no like main ingredient, but like the cuisine that you can just have having access to like world-renowned people who make food is like really cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's something you don't want to go spend money on all the time, but like you can whenever you fucking feel like it. It's really cool. To be able to have the food people are, you see them on TV or people writing about it in magazines. You can just go down and get it, and nobody makes a big deal. It's just you keep walking. It's fun.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What do you miss the most about New York?
Subway.
The subway?
Yeah.
Legit subway.
I think just
wow.
the subway having it. But
And it's
Yeah.
I mean, how does it compare to the subway in LA?
I don't think they have a subway in
dude,
LA,
the
right?
stretch
I
going
think they
from
have a
You should at least ask Chicago or Boston
Yeah.
or something. Come on, LA is a goddamn
I've never been to
clusterfuck.
Chicago. I've never been to
Oh,
Boston.
well, you got the T in Boston, then you got the subway in Chicago, but LA is a joke when it comes to public transportation. It is so haphazard the way that city was built. It's like, okay, the movie industry comes, bam, people move over here. Oh, the rich are coming, bam, they move over here. There's no planning, there's no underground, nothing other than the secret tunnels they don't talk about.
Well, it's just more spread. It's more spread out in LA. Everything is.
It's
Yeah.
not just more spread out. It's also like it was not planned well. It's like everywhere. It like Chicago and New York are on grids. Same with Boston. You look at LA, you're like, what the fuck? Who designed this?
Yeah, I can agree with that. But the subway can undercut
does.
all of that,
I think you do.
but it's so.
But
spread
it doesn't
out.
run, and there's mountains in
Where'd it
LA
go?
too.
Right. Yeah, it is. Manhattan Island, just that
Yeah.
island compared to LA, there's a huge size difference. So it's easy.
Well, in all those other cities, you're mostly dealing with flat land. Los Angeles isn't like that.
in Boston, a lot of the roads were just cow path that they paved.
Right.
Yeah.
Like one of the real famous roads, Commonwealth Avenue. That's what that was. It's just where the cows walked, and they fucking laid down a road there because it was easy. So you,
Cows just walk the streets there?
yeah, like a long, long time ago.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
meant like when you lived there.
It's a really old city. I mean, really old for like United States.
Yeah.
But yeah, LA's fun. I think you can compare the New York subway to LA in the stretch of subway from Koreatown to downtown. That's an awesome stretch of subway. I think it's like the only area that Los Angeles has.
That's like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's all you get. But you go in there, it's really surprising because you're like, holy shit, I'm in a real subway. But it's clean, so it should raise suspicion about
it's in
how
Koreatown.
genuine it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've ridden the subway in LA.
Yeah.
I've been on the BART in San Francisco and the trolley in San Diego.
Yeah.
Also been in the metro in Athens,
Oh, yeah.
but that's also been a while.
Where's Athens?
Greece.
In Greece.
Oh. The real Athens.
The real Athens.
Yeah.
There's an Athens in New York, isn't there?
Yeah, there
There's
is. I've never
Athens
been
in
there.
a lot of states, like
Yeah.
Georgia.
but I didn't-
Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah. Tennessee has one too.
I have some people
Shit.
texting to ask like if they can get the podcast now.
We're
It's not
not
syndicated
out
live.
but yeah, you can download episodes that we've put up already.
Oh, okay.
It's on iTunes, Google, Spotify.
Cool. I'll
I
tell
think
them
we're
that.
pretty sure we're on YouTube also.
Well, Google and YouTube.
When does it come out?
It takes me. It depends on when we wrap it up. If I have time to edit it and put it together tonight, I could get it out tonight.
Oh, a day or two, a couple days.
yeah,
Okay.
at the latest, it'll be out tomorrow afternoon.
Awesome. I'll tell them to mark the spot.
Yeah, subscribe, please. Write a review if you're feeling real generous.
Yeah.
Only if you give 5 stars. If you don't, bust.
The episodes are like crazy. They're not like, it's not like all one of the same topic. So
Yeah,
you're gonna
we're
get a lot of
basically
different stuff,
sports,
and-
entertainment, and politics.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's like
and from one episode
some
to
random stuff.
we'll mix it up a little bit in the episodes, but for the most part we'll stick to a theme in each episode, or we'll break up into segments. Sometimes we'll talk about sports in one segment, and then we'll go to politics or entertainment.
I'm going to interview Nathan now. Nathan,
No.
let's have a talk.
All right.
All right, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about radio.
Let's talk about how awkward your interviews are.
Yeah. My interviews are great. I always get the best questions because I get people
They
like
start off rough, but actually they are pretty good.
they start off rough because I'm surprising the people. They're like, huh? And then you got them exactly where you want them.
You got me where you want me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a shock jock, like Howard Stern. All right. Radiohead. Let's talk about what's that album? Not Kid A, the one before it. What
Okay,
the-
computer.
Yeah, that one. Sorry. Yeah, let's talk about that one. That one's your favorite, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say for sure. Kid A or OK Computer, yeah, those are probably the best ones for me.
Do you like Amnesiac?
I do like Amnesiac. I don't have any that I don't like. I mean, the first one, the very first one. Yeah.
We're talking about
Radiohead.
Radiohead albums. It's some indie band shit.
You
Creep.
can speak up.
That's the Creep.
Yeah, see, Creep is like...
That's the
off-
only song I know.
That's off their first album. That's a song that they kind of didn't write. They have only partial songwriting credit for.
I did
and
not
it's
know
on-
that.
That's the only whatever song I know.
And it's an album, and it's their worst album.
I was gonna see him at Coachella, but they failed me, and so I won't.
We did see him at Coachella, but we had to leave.
No, I didn't
before
see them.
They got their shit right.
I seen them
They
have
had
nothing.
technical difficulties.
Were you?
I
You were
see
there,
nothing.
right?
Yeah, I
When
think
they had
so.
really bad technical difficulties for like
Didn't
the
hear
first
anything?
30
Yeah, we
minutes.
took off. Yeah.
We ended up leaving. You stuck around though,
It
didn't
sounded
you?
like aliens
Did we?
were coming out of the
I
sky.
don't know. I thought you mentioned that you
I
had.
think we did.
Were
Because,
you-
yeah, they got it together. That was Radiohead, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was just 2 years ago, right?
It was Friday. It was the Friday night headliner in 2016, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ended up leaving.
Did you go with me to Coachella to see Radiohead like 2004 or something? Were you with me? that
Oh,
time?
I was there. Maybe we saw each other. Because, like,
No,
that's...
we went to a Coachella together, me, you, and one of your friends, and then we ended up not hanging out much at Coachella. We
Yeah.
did mushrooms in the parking lot and went 3 separate ways.
Oh,
for
my
some reason.
God, you were there that day?
You guys like drove in the
I
same
totally
car
forgot.
together,
Yeah,
probably.
no, dude, Matt is great to take to a place like that because he is sociable as fuck. He'll talk to anybody. Me, I'm an introvert. I'm like, fuck, we don't have any mushrooms. Matt's like, I'll find some mushrooms.
I scavenged the entire parking lot.
Yeah, and then I ended up hanging out with your friend more than I hung out with you that day. I
Oh,
brought
yeah.
you, and then we had an extra ticket, and you brought somebody, and I ended up hanging out with him more than you.
Because I was running around.
Because he'll just run around and talk to people and shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
that is one of the best shows I've ever been to. Coachella, I think it's 2004. The Pixies were on.
Yeah.
And then Radiohead was on. That maybe it was the Mushrooms talking, but that was an amazing show.
Yeah, that was like I feel like that was my best live performance. Because I didn't really like Radiohead that much until I saw, and like their live performance, just like being close and like,
Oh, it was incredible.
it
Yeah,
was crazy.
And the Pixies played right before them, and it was
Yeah.
like right when they got back together after years of being broken up. That was fucking
Yeah.
awesome for me.
You're
not
I
biased
love
at all,
that
yeah,
show.
yeah, there
That was
you
one of
are.
my best shows I've ever been to.
I
But
saw
yeah,
the
I was trying to
Pixies.
think about it. I'm like, yeah, I think Matt was there.
yeah, because like I remember, I listened to them, had this great experience at Coachella, and then I went back and listened to them. I don't think their recordings like did them justice to the
Yeah.
performance.
Probably not.
It
Yeah.
was
Was Radiohead the headliner that year?
Yeah, they were the headliner one of the days.
Anytime they show up, they're the headliner.
Yeah, I would think that was a 2-day. That might have been the year where I only went one day. And then I
Yeah.
so regretted not going the next day because I think it was The Cure and the Flaming Lips. Or
Oh
Yeah,
my
it was.
God,
And
yeah.
it was like I kicked myself
I love
forever
The Cure.
after
They're
for
so
only
good
going to
live.
one day. All the time I went to Coachella after that, I always went 2 days because I didn't want to miss out on like something
That
because
was
I missed out that time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I remember the singer, like he did Creep, and like during some really soft part of the song, like he himself like started crying like as he was getting into it, and I was just like, holy shit, he's not just performing, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was a powerful performance.
It was
The
yeah.
Pixies were like a shot out of a cannon, and then
Yeah.
Radiohead was like you said, kind of an emotional roller coaster
Yeah.
type of performance. But it was really good. That's one of the best shows I've ever been to. So that era of Radiohead, TJ, is my favorite. I mean, the Bends is
agree.
pretty good. It's hard to argue, but once you get OK Computer, Kid A, and Amnesiac all in a row, that's kind of the best
I
era.
even like the stuff they've done after that
Oh,
stuff,
I do
though.
too. I like
Yeah.
Dom York's solo stuff. It's a little
No.
it's a little weird
Sorry,
sometimes, but
man.
he's had some good songs.
It's good music, but it's just like, Tom, it's like when he's got Johnny Greenwood and all those guys, it's
for
like they
sure.
keep him on point a little bit. They're like,
For
Tom,
sure.
you can't
It's-
just
it's
keep
more
going this
atmospheric
way.
in a way, you know.
Yeah, it's like a little too ambient sometimes.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Certainly not as accessible.
Yeah.
But that's the best era of Radiohead, and that's always been
Those are my three
One of
favorite
my-
albums,
one of
too.
my favorite
Not the
bands.
Bends, but Amnesiac, too.
Amnesiac and Kid A were made at the same time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
they-
between OK Computer and that era, that's my
Yeah.
favorite,
I
too.
think most people would agree with that.
I also really like The King of Limbs, too.
I like that one.
I feel like I'm in the minority, but I felt like that was a good album.
Yeah, there's certainly some high points. There's more high points than low points.
I agree.
Like if you
But
get
that Lotus song is so trippy.
Yes.
Oh, that's a
Um,
good one.
There, I even like Hail to the Thief, especially
So do
when you
I.
take into account that I think they recorded that where they went in with one song per day, written, recorded, and finished in one day. So they wrote that album in 14 days, and it's got 14 songs.
Did you hear?
So, I mean, it's not quite as polished, but it's still good.
So I forget the name of the album they came out with in 2016, but they had the album. It did pretty well, and they had that one song that was like "Burn the Witch," and that was written on the "Hail to the Thief" album cover back in 2003, and that song came out in 2016. So they had material that they've been sitting on for a long time.
Yeah, you got to think they have a lot of B-sides saved
Oh,
up. When they
yeah.
finally do break up, there's going to be a stream of, stuff that
I don't
didn't
know
make
why
it on
they'd
albums.
break up though, man.
Well, at some point when something happens, or maybe they'll start
Yeah.
releasing that stuff.
Did they release an album last year?
No, the last time they released was 2016. They only release every few years now. They don't release very often. They released in 2016, 2011, 2007, 2003, 2001, 2097.
Yeah, speaking of long waits, Tool is supposedly coming out this year. They
Oh,
I read
fucking
online-
blow
April.
me.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the plan.
April.
I read online that they changed the artwork on their website.
So we have to
they've
go to
got,
Coachella the
new-
following year.
and they don't hardly ever do that. Like, put
Yeah,
in-
they haven't done that shit since the
Gotta
90s.
make
And
sure
by
we
the
go to
way, I
Coachella
signed
the
up for their
following
fan
year.
club,
Tool
and they
comes
were
out with an
supposed to
album.
send me something, and they didn't send me
It'll be at
anything.
Coachella.
Yeah.
No, Danny Carey was interviewed by a fan at some festival or something, and he said
Put it
April.
on his Instagram.
They said, when is the new Tool album
his
coming out?
personal
He said,
Instagram.
April, that's the plan.
I hope so. I mean, if they come out with something, I'll listen to it. I'll buy it. I'll support it. I'll go to the show. But if they
Pretty
don't come
sure Danny Carey's also said, like, 2013.
well, Danny Carey's like,
Yeah.
I was ready.
He didn't
fucking,
want the
like-
fan to beat his ass, so he just said April.
So
Danny
2006 is
Carey?
when.
Yeah.
No, I
Carey's
know.
probably not worried
No.
about getting his ass beat. He's a big
Maybe
dude.
not. But
I like that he wears basketball jerseys when he plays.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
cool.
Danny Carey's. He doesn't look anything like I expected to. Like when I remember I was younger, I saw him for the first time. I was like, "Oh, he's a bro." He just he doesn't seem like he would be.
he's probably tired of people asking him that, so he's just like, yeah, April.
I
Coming
like
out
when
in
he
2
wears
weeks.
his
Leave me
cousin's
alone.
jersey.
What'd you say?
His cousin's jersey. His cousin played for the University of Kansas, where he's from. So it's
Oh.
actually a Carey jersey.
No shit.
Sometimes he
I
wears
have
that
seen him
one.
in that.
The
in that-
Jayhawks. Yeah, it's
Jayhawks
actually his
jersey.
cousin who played for the Jayhawks.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. That's cool.
There's a little tidbit for you.
Yeah. I've seen him in the Lakers jersey, the
Mhm.
Golden State jersey.
I mean, I think it depends on where he's performing
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah, most of the time I've seen him in the Lakers jersey.
Yeah.
But I saw him wear Golden State when we saw him in
Fuck
San
that.
Francisco.
Well, you see, yeah,
And then
playing to the
I
home
think he was wearing a
crowd.
Lakers jersey when I saw him in Vegas too.
Well, I mean, they
Could
don't
be
have a
wrong
basketball
about that.
team. I mean, what you going to wear? UNLV?
Yeah.
I mean, now the Raiders, but that's football. That's not basketball.
They'll have a basketball team soon enough.
Maybe they got a hockey team now too.
Yeah, they got the facility for it.
Yeah,
so.
they do. They definitely do.
So TJ, are there any
Mm.
bands, excuse me, that everybody likes that you're just like, they're so overrated?
Oh fuck yeah!
Like,
Oh, so many.
Well,
Well,
I mean-
fuck it. Like I called out Imagine Dragons before they were big.
well, a lot of people
who-
think they're pussies. though.
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
like,
but now, but when that song came out 6 years ago, everybody loved them. That "Welcome to the New Age" song, I was like, this sucks. I was like, this song is fucking terrible. There was also the Lumineers. I don't think you're right for him. You know that fucking song.
any like bigger bands?
There's also the what's that guy's name?
Like I always say, like, and Tim will yell at me here. This cue that Tim yells at me. I always thought like the Eagles were overrated.
They
I don't
are
like the Eagles
overrated,
that much.
but,
I don't like
but,
Guns N'
but
Roses
No.
that
there's
much.
so many good songs. Okay, Guns N' Roses is a better case than the Eagles.
I don't
Because
really
the
like
Eagles
Guns N'
have
Roses.
so many
I feel the
songs
same way about
over
Guns N'
so
Roses.
many eras.
Lies,
Guns
Lies,
N'
Lies
Roses
is the
and
best Guns N' Roses album, and it's like
No,
one of their
it's
first
not.
ones. It's great.
Appetite for Destruction.
None of them are very good.
Lies, Lies, Lies is good.
The Appetite for
Who does Don't
Destruction.
Stop
Have
Believing?
you heard the song Patience?
I think that's Journey. Isn't it?
That is
That's
Journey.
Oh
Journey.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's another
I don't-
one that I'm
I don't
like,
love them, and I'm
eh.
really against that song to begin with. So.
No, you're crazy. Definitely crazy about the Eagles, but I will accept
They're
that
a little
they're like.
overrated. I'm not with him and his camp entirely if they suck or whatever
See, I was
he's
just,
on.
Yeah, you
I don't
just didn't go
I
high.
guess-
You didn't go
I
high
guess
enough.
they
I was
could
trying to
be
be like,
a
who do
little
you think's like overrated? Where
If you
everyone's gonna yell
start,
at you. This
dude,
is where
there's so
everyone yells
much
at me about my
music.
picks.
No, you can. There's plenty you can yell at me about musically, but you gotta name some bands, and I'll tell you what I think. Yeah.
I was just trying to stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah,
I thought
let's-
I thought
let's
The
you
go.
cut off
Eagles
with
do
something.
cover quite a bit of genres too, from country to rock and
Yeah.
disco.
Yeah,
like
no, they're pretty talented.
I went,
Yeah,
no,
there's a
well,
lot
sure,
of
there's a
talent.
difference between being talented. I just don't like them. I just
A
think
lot
they're
of great
overrated.
songs.
Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
is
here's
kinda,
one. Let's
doesn't
have
do
it out
for me.
right now. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Let's go.
Everybody
Well,
likes
Let's
them.
go.
See, I
No,
have mixed-
but see, Nathan doesn't.
No, that's not true. That's
likes
not true.
them.
I
Some songs,
have never
songs.
really liked the singer that much.
Yeah.
I think there's almost no better combination of guitar player and bass player in almost any band. Their guitar player and their bass player are amazing.
You're telling me in the band that switched guitarists no less than 5 times, there's no better combination of guitarists
Well, I'm
than
talking
bassist?
about, I think
What?
I think Frusciante
Huh?
and Flea are as good as.
Frusciante only played on how many albums, Nathan?
I don't know exactly.
You tell
how
us,
many-
DJ.
Well, let's think.
Through the best
Mother's
albums.
Milk, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. He did not play on One Hot Minute.
I feel like you know a surprising
Californication.
amount about a band you
By
think is
the way,
overrated.
in Stadium
I think he was trying
Arcadia.
to say that
No,
I. think
TJ
that.
loves Red Hot Chili
Yeah,
Peppers.
He's
I'm
trying to say that
down.
I think that.
Yeah.
So my
And yeah.
my bone
So, like,
is with
6.
the singer. I never really connect that much. Under the Bridge is a great song. I like
Yeah.
that song. But most of the time he's
See,
singing,
that's the most
I don't really
under,
fe- I don't
that's
really
their
feel
most
it.
overrated song. Let's have it out.
I think that's a great song.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
That's a good song.
I think it's a really good
That's
song.
That's a
It-
very good, well-written song.
It is, but Soul to Squeeze is better,
Yeah, it is.
right? That song's way better, and it doesn't have the fucking choir in
See,
the
I'm not going
background.
to go to the mat with
I
about
like-
Chili Peppers. I, kinda
I
do
like that
the
song,
Chili
too.
Peppers.
I-
I don't
I-
want to be misunderstood. I kind of do like the Chili Peppers. They come up on my playlist. I don't thumbs down them.
You don't like Californication. I know you don't like that song.
I just have not really ever liked the singer that much. I think Flea is the best bass player in rock music at least since the early '90s.
Yeah.
Les
I think,
Claypool.
What's that?
I like Les Claypool.
Les
But yeah,
Claypool.
it's tough to argue because Flea is so good.
Right, and
But
I
Victor
really
Wooten.
like John Frusciante. I know they've had a lot of guitar players. I think John Frusciante is an amazing.
I
guitar
agree with you.
guitar
I'm just
player.
fucking with you, man.
So that I have mixed feelings about it because sometimes I listen to their songs and I'm like, I don't really like the singing or what he's talking about very much. I just don't connect with it that much. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say they're overrated the way I will Guns N'
I love the
Roses.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, but they definitely have songs that I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. They also have a lot of material, though. They have so much
Oh,
material.
they've been around since
Yeah.
like the mid
Early,
80s.
yeah,
in like the
early
late
mid-
80s, it was them and Jane's Addiction were like the LA bands.
Yeah.
Before they even blew up, they were like
Mhm.
big LA
Yeah,
bands.
right.
Playing underground and stuff. And I
And
think
that's what
Frusciante's been
Guns
with
N'
them
Roses
since
was.
then. John
No,
Frusciante's
he's
been
been with them since '89. So, like, the
Wow.
story there was he was
Long
the
time.
the biggest fan of the band ever. And the guitarist ended up dying of a heroin overdose. And this dude went to, like, all their shows.
Well, he went to
was
a lot of
just
shows.
he was just a fan, and he knew how to play guitar. And so eventually they just vibe. But he always never felt like it was his band.
Well, he was like big on the punk scene back then. If you look in Nirvana Bleach album, a picture of him is in
No
the
shit.
in the crowd in Nirvana's
That's
Bleach.
awesome.
He's wearing a T-Rex shirt, I think, and he's in the crowd at a Nirvana show. But yeah, he was
That's
like
dope.
big into the LA punk scene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Frusciante and Flea, I think, are amazing. When they start, if you watch some of their live performances,
Who was
where
the
they jam
guitarist
out,
before Frusciante? Was his
I
name?
don't remember his
I
name.
think
They've had
his name's-
Navarro and Frusciante. Those are the kind
Navarro
of two
was
that I
that.
know.
Navarro only played on one album.
Right, yeah. Those
Yeah.
are just the two that I know.
And then
So you get into real new stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I start to fade
was
away.
it
My wheelhouse is before.
no, he was the
2010.
drummer. So Jack Irons was the original drummer, and he died too. So Chad wasn't the original drummer. A lot of people think he was too, but he wasn't.
When did Will Ferrell join the band?
The same day that Chad.
Have you
did.
seen them go on like talk shows together and stuff?
Yeah, I
That was
saw
pretty
that.
funny.
Who showed us?
Hillel Slovak? That was the original guitarist.
I've heard that name before.
So a lot of
Probably from
like
Red Hot Chili
I'll give you
Peppers
this
news.
on Anthony Kiedis' lyrics. A lot of them are almost like esoteric or very like specific about the meaning, or like they'll have like a couple double entendres, but a lot of it is like very personal to him. I would say he's a very personal writer. Like he almost only writes from his own point of view. Like, he doesn't get on this other spacey stuff. So sometimes he says shit that doesn't make any sense. And then you go look up what he's saying, and it's like, oh, he was like Scar Tissue. Most of that song is about Dave Navarro. Like, almost all of it. And a lot of people didn't know that for a
Well, I
long
thought
time.
that song would be about a girl or something.
Well, right. I mean, I think you want
Or next.
a level of ambiguity to your lyrics, so everybody can
Exactly.
connect to them. They always come off as and I can get into that. There's a lot of I can listen to the Smiths, I can listen to Nirvana and get into what he's saying, and it can often be very cryptic, and you don't know.
Cryptic's a good word.
But I can't. Sometimes just like that doesn't make any sense when he's saying stuff. It doesn't hit me. Like I said, there are exceptions to that. Soul to Squeeze is a good song. Under the Bridge, these are, but there is something holding them back to being, one of my favorite bands because I don't connect with the lyrics that
How
way.
do you feel about the song Snow?
I don't know if I know that one.
I got you, hey, yo.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can get into the guitar and the bass, but I don't really think the lyrics
that
and the
after-
singing do it for me on this.
When did that come out?
2006.
Oh yeah, that's coming out on the end of your time with Chili Peppers.
It's like as soon as my son was born, I stopped listening to new music unless it comes up on my Pandora. It's like had a huge CD collection at one time, and that's all gone. But
Yeah. Who else is really big? Is there more current people that are really big? Who's that new
I think is overrated.
rap lady?
Cardi B.
Cardi B, yeah. So I'm surprised by her
Popular.
because she's like the most popular artist that the United States has ever had, I think.
there's no way that's true.
No.
In certain measures, right? So like
No way
she-
she's more popular
her-
than
She's been
Michael
like on
Jackson.
number.
I think
she's got a
her-
bu- she broke a bunch
Well,
of
there's
records.
way more
I do
people
know
now.
that.
I think her
There are way
sales.
more people now.
I think her sales, the record for the, I think the record for the sales was the Beatles
Yeah,
for a
she's
long
like,
time ago, and then
she's like breaking records of the Beatles.
that
and shit, I heard.
stood, yeah, like, and then you sell more than the
It's
Beatles.
crazy.
I think what's really interesting about that is you look at the time when the Beatles were in the 60s or something,
Yeah.
and now you have this like lady talking about whatever she talks about.
A lot of shit.
She talks about fuck them, then I take the money.
Yeah, sucking dicks, taking money. Sucking dicks and taking
easy
money,
song.
right?
Taking
So like that's what is capturing
Fuck
the
'em, then
attention
I
of
get
more
some
people
money.
Yeah,
ever
that's
in
it.
the history of the United States.
I'm still skeptical of these numbers.
Look it up.
Nobody sells
No,
as
yeah,
many
it's-
albums anymore because nobody actually sells albums.
So,
where are you
wait.
getting these numbers?
Time
So
out,
I
time
only
out, time
heard
out.
this.
Maybe $1.
It's
I read
the
it.
charts, the top Billboard.
Yeah, on a Billboard chart or something like
Yeah,
that.
But
I
it's
can't
changed.
name
So I
like
haven't
a
independently
single Cardi
verified.
B song. And
I can't either.
don't live in a
Bodak
hole.
Yellow.
Fuck them and take the money, Nathan.
No,
Never
first
even
that,
heard it.
that,
There's no way. I, mean,
I have
you
no
said
That's
it's
idea.
not her
popular,
song.
there's no way
That's No
not her
Limit.
song.
That's the remix of No Limit by G-Eazy. She's not even on the original.
Okay,
But I
so
think
right
that's-
here, after the recent
didn't even know that was a
releases,
song
of
name.
her new album, Invasion
Fucking
of
then I get
Privacy,
some money.
and widely streamed performance at the Coachella Music Festival, the rap artist has now made music history by breaking Beyonce's record for most
I read something about the
simultaneously Billboard U.S. Hot 100 entries by female.
You see all those qualifiers
and
there?
a female.
That's a
Oh,
specific
there's
one.
more. There's more. I've just clicked the thing.
No, but I get the
Okay,
point.
let's
So
Anyway,
the
they
point-
have readjusted it though.
The most
We'll get to that
talented
later.
musician of all time. It says it right here.
Okay, so let's see. With a total
Matt
of
was
13
saying
tracks. Okay. Oh, and Beyonce's 12 tracks, which achieved.
So now
Okay,
allow
she released her album. Oh, that was Beyonce's?
Well,
Don't make no sense.
let's assume that she's like very popular.
Oh, she's
I think-
extremely popular.
Yeah.
I think we could do that, right?
She's extremely popular.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because I don't connect with any of her music at all. Like,
Right. But
and-
you can be popular with.
and I think I don't really know that many people that are super into her. So it's crazy because like, in a way that makes me feel really detached from like, a really big chunk of people.
Well, I
I'm
think that's
guessing
just
she's a
part of-
huge hit with teenage girls.
Yeah, I think
No.
it's just becoming old. You're becoming
Guys,
old.
guys,
It's
Cardi
just-
B is
No,
a
because I listen to all
top-flight
sorts of new stuff.
female
Like I'm into
rapper.
electronic
She is
music. Like I know
number one or number two
all the
in
new
the world
DJs.
as far as females go. She's got Bodak Yellow and then that
Right.
Drip, and then she's got 3 songs that are like huge, and then that twerk video she just did where she had the best twerkers in the world do her music video.
Right, but who
she's
are
getting the
those-
streams.
Right. The most popular people on YouTube are subscribed to by 9-year-olds.
Nah, not in her demographic. 9-year-olds
Okay.
aren't allowed to watch her shit. I guarantee it.
I'm talking the most subscribed to person.
that
on
might be
YouTube
part of
is
the weird
Cutie- is
societal
like
problem. You had
PewDiePie.
9-year-olds watching Cardi B.
My point is that Britney Spears was popular in the 90s on the teenage dollars, the same way Cardi B largely is. That's why you don't. You're not a. You're
But
not
she
young.
was
You're
like-
Oh
not
wow!
a
The
girl.
last person to reach the top of the Billboard charts in the amount of time that she did was Lauryn Hill in 1998.
That was, but the qualifier
They're
there
saying-
was the most amount of simultaneous Hot 100 songs
by a
Well, this is a
female
different
artist.
by a
different one
female
now.
artist.
Right. So that's
Okay,
nearly as
I
impressive as what
found-
was
She's
first
the
said.
first solo female rapper to reach #1 on the Billboard.
I
Hot
found
100.
the thing with the Beatles. So it says
Okay.
Cardi B joins the Beatles and Ashanti with the first 3 Hot 100 top hits in the top 10 all at the same time.
Oh,
They had those
okay.
3 top.
Yeah.
They took up 3 spots in the top 10.
Okay.
They were also in these other big categories. So I think that's a big society. She's like a big fucking thing.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I think there's
she's
something
huge.
happening in
Yeah.
music right now where there's no real rock genre. There's no.
It's missing.
The
there's no
rap
guitar rock
stars took
anymore.
over a
Yeah.
long time ago,
What is
and
it?
they stepped
I
on
think
the
Bishop Briggs is
fucking
better
rock
than
star's
Cardi B.
neck
Should
and
be
said,
up there.
"Fuck you." That's
Did?
what the rappers.
Rappers, dude.
Kanye said this in 2013. The rappers have been the rock stars, and it's been that way for a minute now. And he's fucking right. The
In
rock
what way?
bands
In
went
what
the
way?
fuck
Kanye
away.
is bound
Well,
to
it's
say
just-
some stuff.
right,
He
but that-
rambles for decades.
But
It's
he
like-
was right, though. Where are the rock bands? Where are they? Oh,
They're around. They're just not in the Billboard top 100.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the people.
exactly. They're not running the charts.
It's because
Right,
a bunch
but
of young kids
they're
that have
all
bad
the
taste in
arguing
music.
for-
Well, they're off the stratosphere.
So, there's been other times like this when there's been a void of what I consider artistically valid music. This has happened before. Go back to the late 90s. What good rock music was coming out that was at the top of the charts? I mean, you can go find
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
There are some exceptions. You can go find a couple exceptions, but by and large, you had a
It
lot
was
of Limp
phasing out,
Bizkit,
like
Jane's
Korn,
Addiction.
Puddle of Mud,
Crappy
different,
music.
different things like this.
Puddle
There
of
are
Mud.
other, and just like now, there is Jack White and Cage the Elephant. I don't know a lot about, but when they come on my stream, I kind of like Cage the Elephant.
No, yeah, they're good.
They're a pretty big
You don't know a
band.
lot about Jack White? You would love Jack
No,
White.
I love Jack
Okay,
White. I know
alright.
about Jack White.
We
I
saw
don't
him
know,
in
I don't know
concert.
about Cage the Elephant.
hear you.
but,
Okay.
You know what I mean? But so I just think you get these ebbs and flows in music. It's not that the rock stars are dead because Kanye killed. I mean,
It's not
this
just
is
Kanye.
This is a different generation.
No, he was
That's-
right about the culture shift, though. Rock stars are not cool, and rappers are,
you
and
can
that's
do-
what he was talking about. No, that's like not
That's his
even
own
debatable.
preference, because I think
no,
rock
it's
stars
not.
are pretty
look
cool.
Look at all the metrics and look at what kids are wearing and
Kids
look
just
at
have bad taste
fashion.
in music. That's all.
Personally, and TJ's gonna hate to hear me say this, but I think rap is worse than it's ever been right now.
It
Yeah, same
absolutely
here.
is. Yeah, I
It's
would agree with
definitely
that.
not, but there's more rap now than there's ever been too.
Oh,
So,
maybe that's
so,
it.
That's
so
why.
a lot of the
shit
rap
out
you
there.
hear,
Yeah.
yes, and I'm very good at like,
Have you guys tried it with a really big
Differentiating.
subwoofer though?
yeah, it's so much fun. That shit bump.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
I just want
Anything
Shitty
sounds
rap
good
that
in your Mazda, man.
New rap generally sounds pretty awful to me, but I'll accept that I'm kind of getting past the point where I'm super open to like something that sounds radically different. I don't know if and maybe I'm just the old man with the get off my lawn. That's fine.
No, you're not.
But,
You're not like that
The
at
rock
all.
music will make a comeback. This kind of ebbs and
I
flows.
agree with that,
People
too.
will always think guitars are cool. I mean, I think you're probably wrong about that.
The
You just can't
biggest
see these ebbs and flows.
guitarist star in the world right now is Shawn Mendes, and he's kind of like a John Mayer disciple type.
Jack White, I think he's probably bigger than him, right? I mean, you mean like global sales, or how do you measure that?
Like charts popularity. Jack White still fringes on like the indie thing, and so that sometimes hurts your commercial performance a little bit.
Well, see, I
but he's
think-
got such a dedicated following that people will go see him and put his albums number one
that's-
regardless.
and that's the thing.
But he only drops every 4 years.
You're talking almost entirely about popularity, and I really am factoring that in somewhat, but it really has more to do with artistic, cultural impact that's going to last. You know what I mean? Are we going to care about Cardi B in a little? Maybe. Not. I don't know. I don't know about that. We will care about Jack White in 20 years. 'cause
Absolutely.
He's that good. He's
Well,
a generational
but
talent.
here's the
and
thing.
we will care about the Chili Peppers too. So I don't always agree with this popularity argument where they've sold so many albums or whatever, because I don't think people necessarily know what is great artistic music. Britney Spears
People just like
sold
what's
a lot
hot
of
at the
albums
moment.
when
A
I
lot of
was
people
when
just
I was
like
a
what's
kid.
hot at the moment.
NSYNC
That's a
sold
very
lot
fair
of
point.
albums when I was a kid. There's
Especially
always
younger people.
bullshit on
There
the
is
charts.
always bullshit, but there's bullshit in every genre. And here's the thing that you got to look at is like the epicenter of what the top flight culture is. So, back in the 90s, almost all of the popular music, unless it was specifically hip hop or pop or country, almost all of like the popular bands in the rock genre and even somewhat in the pop rock genre were a pretty similar format. Like a lot of flats, a lot of like, you know, Green Day, Nirvana, like all the Offspring, like a certain kind of sound was in the air,
That's
right?
because after Nirvana popped, they ran and signed a whole bunch of bands like that. It was a different business climate.
And so in the rap world, you are at an interesting point where rap hasn't fallen off, even though it's been arguably the most popular genre, and if not the most, like in the top 3 for the last 20 years now. And it hasn't fallen off the way rock has. Country's remained the same, and now you've got EDM and dance music in that mix and pop too. But these genres are fighting over space, right? And we're getting to a point where rappers are older than ever. So you definitely have all the junk you're talking about and all the artists that aren't going to be here tomorrow, but there's like seriously more top flight rap being made now than ever before, because there's so many artists that are still alive, and there's 50, 40-year-olds making rap that's hard and not like stupid either. It's not unintelligent, it's not ignorant, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm not really connected to that scene, so it's hard to speak in harsh terms. I just hear it coming from people's cars.
USA Today say that rap overtook in a poll that rap has
It's
overtaken
happened.
rock.
It happened years ago.
I would
Right
not
now.
I would not dispute
Yeah.
that. I would not. That's why I said rock music is dead right now. There's no good guitar
Yeah.
rock. I mean,
For the
I'm not
first time
one to
ever,
make
it
this
says. For the first time
observation.
ever.
No
Has
popular
surpassed rock.
good
It's
guitar
become the
rock.
biggest music genre
Right,
in the
yeah,
US
I mean,
in
this
terms
is-
of total consumption.
This is just an argument from popularity, and I don't think popularity correlates to
Yeah.
Quality.
good or
Yeah, for sure.
artistically relevant.
Yeah.
or
You're
whatever.
absolutely
And
right.
a lot of the bands that we really like tend to be both. You tend to get generational talents, the Beatles,
Led Zeppelin.
we talked about Radiohead, but I mean, I used to think I didn't like, going back to my teenage years, I used to think, I like 70s music, I like 90s music. There's this void in the 80s. I don't like Poison. I don't like Guns N' Roses.
Oh, you don't like all those big hair bands?
I don't like all this
Yeah,
hair
me
bands.
neither.
And eventually
Yeah.
I figured
Poison.
out, oh wait, they were doing
Warrant.
The Cure and REM and the Pixies
Exactly.
in the 80s.
Yeah,
Maybe I do
super
like
good.
80s music. So
And
it's
Prince.
probably happening
love
now,
Prince.
where
Yeah.
there's these bands that are
good.
just not popular, but they're gonna get
plays
booked
a
at
mean guitar,
Coachella or whatever,
Prince.
but are probably
Really does.
good. I'm just not necessarily connected in the same way I used to be. I used to be on top of new good indie music and stuff. I'm just not.
Yeah, a really good rock band that we saw at Coachella in 2016 that isn't that popular is Foles.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
Foles is so good. They're pretty popular.
But they're not like
Yeah, they'll never
on the
get on
charts.
the charts. They're not
Yeah.
competing with TJ's Boys. That
right.
Well, they're different genres, and so each genre is scaled as far as expectations, and then within each genre, you also have subgenres as well, and then certain subgenres outperform others. Like right now in the rap world, you've got trap outperforming almost every other subgenre, and in indie music, you have the same thing, or rock and roll. You'd have rock and roll, and then you'd have like popular artists like Red Hot Chili Peppers, etc., Beck, top flight artists, and then you would have like the indie artists who like will fight over that ground, and then like the punk scene who will fight over theirs, and like
I have a hard time figuring out like where the popularity game comes from. Like Nathan was saying a second ago that a lot of what he's hearing has to do with popularity, and he factors that in, but there's other things.
I agree with that.
And I think like the decision to even become popular has the same sort of calculus by people that are probably going to sign these artists, right? Popularity can't be anything you consider at the beginning because they're new, right? So like,
well, right, but the
you-
business used to be different, so you could self-promote. Now.
yeah, who are they scouting is a big question, right?
They're
but you
going
can
for
get
the
popular
views
on
and the
YouTube.
clicks.
You can get popular on YouTube now. That's what's different about like in
Oh
the
yeah,
90s.
that's a good self-sorting mechanism, isn't it?
Well, it's
Yeah. In
a
it's
sense,
more
yes.
democratized. People
Yeah.
Much.
kind of decide. Who's the Post Malone, right? Didn't he become
He's
famous
super
this
popular.
way? He became. This is what my
Yes.
son tells me.
Yes.
He tells me about. He gives me the rap down.
He
Yeah,
he's pretty good at it
What's
too.
up? He's got 11
$5,000 for his first video.
Right, and he was discovered. He was discovered online in the '90s. It was like, Nirvana popped, and then all these business, producers and record companies said we're going to sign people like
They started
that. So you get
chasing
the Offspring,
grunge.
you get Green Day, you get
Yeah.
Bush, you get all these
And-
bands. Now you can be discovered online. You can cut around some of those people,
Yeah.
and maybe rap is becoming more popular because of that, and maybe that's influencing
Black America is also more popular now than it was back in the early 90s, too. It's a lot less segregated. It's a lot more interwoven into everyday culture. I mean, 50 Cent, Tupac, and Biggie, all those guys were so big in everyone's culture that fast forward years later, and you've gotten to a point of assimilation where rap is more
Or
assimilated.
they're more
in our
heavily
culture.
exploited. Depends who you
Yeah.
ask.
Well, that's the artists themselves. That's not the culture as a whole and the recipients.
Well, that's
Rap has assimilated more into mainstream American culture over the last 20 years,
Well,
for
that's
sure.
For a lot of different reasons.
Sure.
Black
Yeah.
culture has been ripped off, for lack of a better term, by white culture for a long time.
A long
I mean,
time.
There's no secret about that. I think it was on Chappelle's show, one of those guys, Paul Mooney or something, was like, the black man's the most emulated man in America. I mean, he's right. You know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
style and the music, and
Mhm.
I'm not doubting that. And who taught Jack White how to play guitar? He mostly listened to old black guys play guitar. So I mean, they taught us the blues too. So
Yeah.
whether you like rock or whether you like rap, really it's black music and black culture at its roots. And Elvis ripped off Chuck Berry.
Sure,
and
a lot of people.
And Jimmy Page ripped off Robert Johnson. And if you really want to use the term ripped off loosely, you know what I mean. But it's just an assimilation of black culture over our culture for a long
But
period
here's
of time.
the difference
I'm
with
having
that,
a
though.
black son.
The
I am part black.
the
Just found
epicenter
out.
of what's hot
true, I can't
changed
believe
because
it.
there
Just
was
a
still
little.
a long time where white was still more popular than black. Like even in the 90s, that was true. Nirvana was every bit as popular as Tupac was. Maybe even in your circles, definitely more so than Tupac was. But Tupac was king of that, right? Now, you're not just king of rap. Rap is the highest numbers other than like Taylor Swift and a couple other artists. Rap is setting all the records for the highest numbers now. That's what I'm saying is different. Like the popular culture has largely shifted to that, and it's also easier because it's an individual sport versus a band sport.
That's what I wonder about, though. Is it like the popular culture getting shifted there, or are we just spending a lot of time catching up to what popular culture is like set as? It's not that hard for people who own record labels to like say, "Here, the guys, this is popular now," and it just is on the radio all the time. Like
Force feed you a product.
Yeah, like I have not much of a clue. I'm able to pick and choose between like what shows up in my feed, I guess nowadays, right? But that's about it.
people have
I
more
can't go
choice than
seek
that.
out. I would never, if I didn't have any of that stuff. No, if I didn't grow up with the radio or have streaming, I don't even know where I would get music at the library.
Yeah, going to Coachella is like the only
Yeah, going to Coachella is a
outlet
really
I have
good
to be exposed to like
educational
new
shit.
shit.
Yeah. And
Well, when I was growing up, I would just get online and see, oh, this artist is similar to this artist. Let me go download their album.
Yeah.
I would sit on LimeWire or Napster or whatever it was. and
LimeWire,
download
shout
their
Oh, I
music.
remember doing shit tons of that.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore, mostly just because I'm
No
not
one has to.
necessarily
I actually forgot I
interested.
used to do that a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what we used to do. We'd be like, I would go on like Amazon or something and click on a band I liked, and at the bottom would be like, oh, a similar artist. Or I'd hear in an interview Kurt Cobain say that his favorite album of the 80s was Surferosa, and I'd have to be like, well, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then I'd discover the Pixies or something. So that's more or less how it used to go. I just don't do that anymore. You still could.
Yeah.
You still could do all that. It's, if anything, you have more choices now.
Yes.
You can go on YouTube.
many more.
You can go on YouTube and click on somebody's video, and then it will recommend 4 other videos, and you may not have seen a couple of them. So you could go down that rabbit hole if you want to.
Yeah.
I think back to the popularity thing. The rap has certainly, as a whole, started to outsell everybody. But in every genre, you can pick outliers that are going to sell.
Yeah.
big. You
Yeah.
still have pop stars at the top, and you still will. If Tool comes out with a record, it'll be up on the. It'll be really high on the charts.
Sure, it'll go
Radiohead
number one.
does, it'll come up high on the charts.
It will probably, they'll be lucky at this point if it goes number one. But if it goes number one, it'll go number one for 1 week. It will not go number one for 2 weeks.
I hear you. But you can pick, and the Chili Peppers would be another example. You can pick outliers in every genre.
They'd probably
I don't know.
Rap
Think about how many
is-
people have been anticipating a Tool album. I think a lot of people will.
Yeah, but
be
you
listening to it.
gotta. Here's the tricky thing for Tool. So they have, and the thing I was trying
A
to
lot
say
of those
earlier-
anticipators, it's been so long that a lot of them are probably dead now.
Yeah, no shit,
true.
right?
It has
yeah,
been that
no.
long.
Yeah.
That's
Their
definitely
kids will buy
true.
it now.
Yeah, the ones who
If they
know.
taught them
the
the way.
ones who know, right?
I don't know. They always sell out.
so
their
what's the main
shows,
reason
and
you
they
say
just play a
they'll-
bunch
Yeah,
of
sorry.
reruns.
It's
songs.
going to be a hard time for Tool because two things. Number one, people don't buy albums as much anymore. However, they do have one of the most loyal cult followings in all of music. Like, seriously, artists
shows
and
sell
bands
out
in
even
particular really covet that following because it's a consistent revenue stream, and it's unbelievable. But they're not on any streaming services. And the way albums and units and everything's calculated now takes streaming into account at a certain percentage. So that's why
the
a
streaming
lot
services kind of rape the bands though, and if they sell it through
New
their,
bands, yeah.
and if they sell it through their site and they make essentially 100%.
Tool could get a fair contract. So many artists have contracts that, like Taylor Swift, when she's on a streaming service, that shit's advantageous for her. And
Well, she has a lot of negotiating power, sure. Yeah.
sure,
And
but so does Tool.
It's important for big bands like that to not only negotiate for themselves, but negotiate for the little guy a little bit too.
Oh, sure.
So they get run over.
But
by some
I'm
of the
just
streaming
saying, if you are dependent upon album sales alone in a stream happy,
services. Yeah, the market
prevalent,
is totally different than it used to be.
so it's going
Michael
to be
Jackson
tough for
sold-
them to get that number one record if you're solely dependent upon album sales and you don't get streams from all your peripheral listeners. So you're going to get illegal downloads and album sales. That's going to be tough to go number one on. So I'm wondering if they're going to open up into streaming platforms before their new album drops, or at least put the new album on a streaming service so that they can capitalize off of that and get their easy number one. Because that's what I would do.
I miss illegal downloads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a side note. It was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the best time to be a music fan.
Yeah.
When that was rampant.
Yeah, it was.
I have so much music on my hard drive, and I don't even think I've listened to all of it. There's so much.
I just found a bunch of files that I illegally downloaded. Like, I thought they were gone forever. Somehow they
Yeah.
wound up on my new computer.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You must have been
I have no idea
inspired
how
one
that
day.
Like, I like skipped a couple computers. Like, I lost them a long time ago. Didn't have them on my last computer. Got this new computer, and, like, I clicked on a file, and a bunch of albums that I downloaded for free popped up. I was like, oh shit, hell
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Did you use a backup from an old computer or something?
I must have. I don't know what the hell happened. It was weird.
There was a point
which
where I
computer? This one?
I used to be really mentally connected to my music list, not in I was obsessed with my identity and this is what I listen to, but I just this mental catalog of everything I had. I knew every fucking thing.
Oh, I used to make
And then-
playlists all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Burn CDs.
Oh, I used to burn
Oh, I burned so
CDs,
many
yeah.
CDs to take in the truck.
Pour
And
one
then-
out for burning CDs.
Oh.
What made me lose
I would
it, I
give
think,
CDs
was
to girls.
changing.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, the girls.
Exactly.
I'd be like, this is my feelings for you here.
Yeah.
I used to have a lot
The
of
stuff
CDs.
that this guy wrote, he must have felt the same
Yeah.
thing
Cool, you
about
can
somebody.
make your own
These songs make me think about
Make your
you.
songs in
Listen
whatever
to
order
them,
you
Think about
want.
fucking me. Get back to me.
Yeah.
I'd get a bunch of music and then pop the blank CD in there, make the CD how I wanted it.
Yeah.
Songs that I wanted to hear first or second.
But yeah, switching computers is what made me lose it. Because, it was back with iTunes. It was the only way to organize it. So, you have to re-import all the shit and, find the album covers. Takes forever.
iTunes was always a bitch.
Yeah.
I would name everything in the file folder or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you'd go into iTunes and it would be all fucked up.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell is going
You
on?
spent a long
Fucking
time
hate
doing
it.
that shit, too.
Yeah, exactly. I have an embarrassing.
I think our
music on a hard
generation
drive.
lost,
A lot.
years of life collectively.
Well,
we
at
used to
that
do them,
time, though, that's what you had to do.
Well, there was a time when it was one at a time through Napster, and you'd wait for a
Oh, I
long
know.
time per song. But then we got to a day where
LimeWire.
they couldn't track what you were doing, so they haven't got good at busting you. But connection speeds got blazing fast.
Yeah.
And I would just, that band looks interesting. Let me
Yeah.
download everything they've ever made ever.
That's when I learned the word discography.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
could search
shit.
it.
Download it all.
BitTorrent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just went nuts with all that. I have a hard drive filled with music.
Yeah.
At one time, I had hundreds of CDs. I used to go every week. Every Friday I'd go buy a CD or two.
Yeah.
Just every week at Best Buy, rows and rows of CDs. I had
I
a
remember
huge
that.
CD collection. I eventually got tired of hauling them around.
For all the illegal music downloading I've done, I've also been thoroughly raped by the music industry as
Yeah.
far as how much money I've spent on
On
it.
CDs.
Yep.
Yep. No,
You know-
that's generational.
When I sold mine used, I put them on Craigslist. I think for a few bucks each, because I looked into giving them to like a
Did you
record
back 'em
store,
up?
and they didn't. Yeah, they were all on my hard drive already, so I was just like getting rid of them. I got tired of hauling them around.
Yeah.
And immediately people started asking me for them, and I first guy that hits me up Craigslist, I was like, all right, I'll sell them to you. And then my phone was blowing up. They told me I priced them too low. Apparently they were worth more than I thought, but I sold them to the original guy for like $3 a piece.
It's crazy how people troll Craigslist for shit just shit.
And the guy met me. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is a heck of a deal. Like you gave these away way too cheap." I was like, "Yeah, I didn't realize. You know, I looked into giving them to a record store and they didn't want them. They like used CDs. They were like they wouldn't give me hardly anything for them. So I just put them on Craigslist for a few bucks each, and I was getting hit up like crazy for them because it was you know I had a good music collection, but I should have kept it. And looking back, I probably should have kept it.
Yeah, I do like having like the bookshelf thing.
It was nice. Yeah, I just got so tired of hauling it all around. I mean, at one point I had this 4-sided tower that would like spin around.
Oh, I remember those.
You could line it all up in there. I had,
Yeah.
I had a lot of DVDs. I still have the DVDs. I still have like good DVDs.
Yeah.
Nice. Wrap this segment up and get back out at it in a minute.
Yeah.
Say, little bitch, you can fuck with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick, cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch, I make bloody moves. Now she say she gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. You in the club just to party, I'm there, I get paid a fee. I be in and out them banks so much, I know they tired of me. Honestly, don't give a fuck about who in front of me. Drop 2 mixtapes in 6 months. What bitch working as hard as me? I don't bother with these hoes. Don't let these hoes bother me. They see pictures, they say goals. Bitch, I'm who they tryna be. Look, I might just chill in some babe. I might just chill with your boo. I might just spill on your babe. My pussy feel like a lake. He wanna swim with his face. I'm like, okay. I let him get what he want. He buy me East Saint Laurent and the new whip. When it go fast as a horse, I got the.
Oh gosh, wasn't that great?
It was fun.
Don't lie, Natalie. You were
It was
bored out of
fun.
your fucking mind, weren't you?
No.
TJ was. I think he fell asleep during that episode.
TJ was talking most of the time about him and Nathan were just going back and forth about the rock and the rap.
The rock and the rap. That's right. Cardi B, right?
I did talk about my dream for a little bit. Good old Dave Grohl saving the day.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just cut that and make that the episode.
5-minute long episode.
Yeah. A little 1-minute dream story with a
No, yeah, but it was
10-minute
cool.
intro and a
Talking
10-minute
about
outro.
Everybody's, views or opinions on music and kind of how the scene has changed a little bit, but it just goes in waves, I think. Like,
And Matt's favorite part of New York is the subway, so
oh God, and
take
then
that for what you will.
this morning I wake up and I read an article about how that fucking system is all jacked up. Like, this woman was carrying her baby in the stroller down the subway stairs, fell to her death, and the 1-year-old survived. Like, they said that the shit needs to be fixed over there. It's not right.
Maybe the 1-year-old did it.
I doubt it, but it seems like it's pretty dangerous, those fucking subways. I don't know. Maybe Matt likes to live on the wild side, and that's why he likes those subways.
Well, I don't know. What does that say about the rest of the city if the subways are the most interesting part, right?
Yeah. But I'm sure, I think he just means maybe just getting around is so much easier. Like, you don't need a car or something. But he likes cars, so he's probably happy to be back here so he can have his car.
Yeah, that's true. He does have a Tesla.
Yeah.
Huh.
I wonder if he would have bought that car if there were subways all around where he lived right now. Maybe so, maybe no.
If you are in New York carrying this, go ahead and tweet at us at Indoctrinated1. I'd love to hear how the weather is out there right now.
Yeah, and I feel bad for everybody out in the middle of the Midwest and stuff with your Siberian temperatures coming at you this week on Wednesday. Remember your cars. The people that live in Alaska, they have.
Can we get some
heaters.
temperatures for the Midwest right now?
Yeah. So
What's the forecast out there?
Wednesday, it's going to be negative 57 with the wind chill.
Negative 57.
Yes, in
Where?
Chicago.
Holy shit balls!
Watch.
You give the Midwest weather report, then I'll do the Wildemar weather report.
Okay. Here we go. Oh boy, historic record-breaking cold is in the forecast for the Midwest as polar vortex descends.
That doesn't sound good.
Let's see here. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Oh yeah, be careful with your cars because in Alaska they have heating blocks, like external heaters for their cars, so their engines don't seize up because of the cold. And it's not even that cold up there as compared to what it's going to be out here coming up. So.
And this, what you said, Chicago?
Chicago. All-time records. Okay, all-time records are in jeopardy this week as the coldest air in a generation descends from the Arctic into the lower 48. Nearly 90 million people will experience temperatures below 0 degrees this week from the Midwest to New England.
90 million people.
Yeah, and 25 million of those will face temperatures below minus 20. Wind chill temperatures plummeted to minus 50 in the Dakotas and northern Minnesota Tuesday morning. And the same painfully frigid air is forecasted to spread southeast into Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Chicago, and Detroit. The wind chill will plunge to minus 30 to minus 40 as far south as Illinois and northern Indiana. The wind chill temperature, which is a measure of what the air feels like when the wind is taken into account, will fall as low as minus 65 in the upper Midwest.
What?
Yes, it's literally colder than Siberia. It's going to be the coldest place on the planet.
Ever? Probably.
In a long, long, long time.
Holy shit.
And also, I have a friend that lives up in Alaska, and she says they're having like a heat wave. They're experiencing way average above temperatures for this time of year in Alaska.
Well, I hope you're enjoying your cheap property values out there, Chicago.
Yeah. While actual temperatures dropped to negative double digits this week, media have been clamoring to find exotic locations that will be warmer in the Midwest. Antarctica, for example, will be a balmy 10 degrees Thursday morning.
Ooh, how nice.
I know. And while Minneapolis drops to around minus 30. But it's summertime in the Antarctic, so that shouldn't be surprising. What is surprising, at least, is the Midwest will be colder than the North Slope of Alaska Thursday morning.
Man, wish we were able to watch some outdoor football this time of year.
Yeah, this is
God,
pretty
that
gnarly.
would be good.
It says, let's see here. Chicago's forecast low temperature Thursday morning is within the margin of error of its lowest on record, which was minus 27 degrees on January 20th, 1985. So it's happened before. It's like weather seems to go in these cycles.
All right, pass it over to me like a.
Okay, what's the weather where we are out here in Southern California?
Oh, well, thanks for asking, Natalie. We've got Wildemar temperatures currently at 60 degrees.
Oh, burr.
Today's high was 73 with a low tonight of 44.
And we got rain coming, but it's still not going to be that cold.
The 7-day forecast, there is rain. Thank you for mentioning it.
Yay.
Tomorrow, though, is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 73.
Oh.
Here at the end of January. Thursday, we've got rain coming and just a high of 56.
I mean, I have the heater set to 73 right now, and it's
Bundle up,
like
California.
70.
It's going to
Yeah.
get down to 56 on Thursday.
Minus 56? No, positive.
Oh, positive. Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friday, no rain, but cloudy. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, rain, rain, rain. That's insane for us. Holy shit.
Yeah, we've been getting these storms every
Somehow
few
I just don't believe that.
No, it's a good winter here this year.
And then the
for us.
cold temperatures, those frigid cold temperatures of 57, the highs of 57 and 60 for next Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 week from now. But those are going to be sunny days. So we've got a low temperature in the next 8 days of 38 degrees
That's
on
cold for
next
us.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
What are we
We're
gonna
gonna
do
have
with
to
our
bring the turtle in.
But we're not going to be here. We're going to be on vacation. Our turtle is going to be...
Oh, he's just going to have to be inside while we're away.
Oh, boy.
He'll be fine. He just needs privacy.
Yeah.
Put that little towel up for him.
I'll feel bad to keep him cooped up in the little bathroom all day, like for a week.
Just leave the house open. I don't know. What's the worst he can do? He's not going to shit. He hasn't eaten in like a month.
Yeah, but he might get stuck somewhere or something. We'll figure it out.
Somewhere. Even if he does get stuck somewhere, he'll be fine.
Yeah, Well, what if he tries to go out the doggy door and then stays there for hours and prevents the dogs from going outside to go potty? I've seen him do that in the summertime before he broke the screen door.
I doubt he'll do that. Like,
Well, you never know.
obviously he's gonna need to be inside because it gets down to 38.
No, yeah, we'll
It's
figure
30.
this out.
Like
off air.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Monday, the day we leave, all the lows are 38,
No,
39.
yeah, we'll figure
Brr,
in all
by the
those
way.
Days, yeah, but we're gonna be going on a cruise in the cold like that. We're gonna be freezing out on sea. Our boat might.
I love
seize
it.
up.
Yeah, I love it when we can go out on the deck and just wear a big jacket and be out there in the cold.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going on a cruise, everybody. It's going to be fun. We're going to Catalina and then Mexico and whale watching because the whales are out here migrating.
Hopefully
Yeah.
the weather's nice for them.
We're going to be out on a boat while people are freezing their nuts off in the middle of the
And we'll be
country.
freezing our nuts off to a fucking frigid 55 out there on the water.
So it's literally going to be 100
But that wind chill is going to
cooler.
bring it down to like 52.
That means it's going to be 100 degrees cooler in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Fucking nay. I feel so bad for those people.
Yeah. That's what they get for not paying exorbitant fees on their houses.
People got to live somewhere. They can't all live on this state.
Well, there's a reason why we pay so much for our housing, right? People
Yeah.
say, oh, it's getting out of control in California. Can't live here anymore.
Well,
Okay, go fucking
go to
move
Chicago.
to fucking Detroit. Jesus Christ. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll pay twice as much every month to fucking not live in Detroit.
Some people don't have the luxury.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, yeah.
Maybe one day we can have a house in a cold area that we can go to in the summertime.
Yeah.
And get out of the blazing hot temperatures of where we live.
I know. They're going to be laughing at us with our fucking shit in the summertime.
We get up to 110 every once in a while. That's nothing.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad.
I'd much rather experience 110 than negative fucking 30.
57 with the wind chill. Negative 65 with wind chill. It's.
I think that's.
They said
like
you go outside and for 5 minutes. They were saying, and you get frostbite 5 minutes. You can't even
Right.
go outside.
Right.
All the schools are canceled. Nobody can go to school. It's bad.
On the other extreme, it's probably as dangerous as like 140-degree temperatures.
Yeah.
Which is something we haven't even gotten close to. I think we had a all-time high that I've
It's
ever
like
experienced of
120
like
something. For
maybe
like a
out
day
in
or
the
two.
desert.
No, out
Last
here.
summer, no, it got up to like 118.
No, it was like 120. I see.
I think we had a high last summer of 118 out here.
Maybe.
And it was ridiculous for sure. But
Yeah, it's.
I was out in the sun working that day.
Yeah, and they make them wear long sleeves too. It's
Yeah,
awful.
I'm pretty sure I wasn't in long sleeves. I might have been.
That green thing, that green lightweight shirt, it's long sleeve, that neon.
Yeah, I think I was wearing those.
Anyway,
Yeah,
we hope you
well,
all enjoyed this music episode.
yeah. And I hope you
Our
enjoyed Matt.
Introduction of our friend Matt.
He's quite a character.
Yeah.
He's I don't know if this episode does it any justice as to actually how interesting Matt is. You really got to hang out with Matt in person, I think, to really experience Matt.
Yeah, he's a unique person.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We
we
love
should
you,
have
Matt.
his wife Min Vaughn on sometime. She's
That'd
great
be great.
too.
I'd actually love to interview her about
They're
her
great
job.
people.
I wonder if we
Yeah,
could
they're
set
both
that up.
attorneys. She's like a district attorney, I think.
Yeah, that would
She
be an
works in the
excellent
DA.
interview.
Matt works somewhere with law, of some sorts,
Maybe.
I think.
Mm.
But yeah, they.
Matt
they're
works
awesome.
for the CIA for all I know. Shit.
You never know.
Anyway, yeah, let's wrap it up. Oh yeah, shout out to my mom. Apparently she's listening to the
yeah.
podcast and she
Mama
wanted me to
Tony.
give her a shout out. So
Hi, Mama Tony with an
yeah,
eye.
congratulations on your upcoming grandson.
Oh yeah, everyone, we're having a baby boy. We just found out.
Yeah,
Yay!
little Kobe Bryant.
Well,
We're still working
we're not
on the
African
name.
American all the way, so
We're still working on the name, but
Yeah.
that's an option.
we have the middle name,
Do we?
Jack. I thought.
I do like that.
Yeah.
That's definitely an option also.
Yeah,
We're still working on the name.
I already told everybody that's the baby's middle name. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're still talking about that too, but
Yeah.
who cares? Hey, if you got any name ideas, hit us up on Twitter at undoctrinated
Or
one.
send us an email with like a list of 100 names so we can pick some.
Yeah, and if we don't like them, we'll just tell you how fucking stupid you are for suggesting
we
that.
wouldn't do that. Just Tim would. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, but oh yeah, the email is undoctrinatedpodcast@gmail.com.
Maybe people don't know how to spell it. We haven't gotten any emails really. Should we
Sound it out, you fucking moron.
It's undoctrinated.
Yeah, sound it out.
Okay.
If you don't know how to spell undoctrinated, you probably don't know how to spell podcast either.
Yeah, those are tough words. You could also tweet at us at undoctrinated1. That's Twitter, and undoctrinated podcast at Instagram. On Instagram.
Check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that
We
shit.
don't have anything on there, do we? Not yet.
I think all our episodes go up there automatically, don't they?
I have no idea.
We're gonna have a 4K video up there soon.
Oh, wait, when are these
On the 9th, when we interview Mike
that's
Santana, he's actually gonna record the interview and
Wait,
edit.
that's a Sunday.
No, that's a Saturday when we get back.
The
from
10th is a
vacation.
Monday.
I don't
Because
think
I'm having
so.
massages that day with Val.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to the
Nope.
spa.
9th is a Saturday. 10th is a Sunday.
Son of a bitch.
10th is the
Okay.
possible interview with the comedian. I don't know if I shouted that one out on the podcast. I think we're gonna leave that as a surprise.
Yeah, TJ said to leave it.
Yeah, but that one's gonna be good if it happens. So
Yeah.
stick around. We got plenty of good shit coming up. We got a Super Bowl special that I'm probably gonna release before the end of the month. Possibly a political conversation before the end of the month. So we got a lot of shit coming at you here. So stay tuned. All right.
Goodbye.